Final Destination Bloodlines marks the sixth installment in this franchise, so what better thing to do than rank every single movie? Just for preference, this list is coming from someone who has just watched the Final Destination movies for the first time to prepare for Bloodlines. So if there's some nostalgia I'm not seeing, if there's some fan favorite that I don't see as a fan favorite, it could be because I don't have the nostalgia for it. Without further ado, let's begin. Now straight up, this is not a good movie. One of the first bad signs is that they're trying to do the 3D effect. The 3D effect never works, especially since that this movie heavily relies on CGI with the green screen effect. So half the time you're getting images like this, pointing right into the camera, but with this weird CGI effect that just does not look good when you're actually watching it on a 2D screen with no 3D effect added. But I still do think there is enjoyment to be had out of this movie, making it that it's so bad it's a good type movie, because some of these kills are extremely over the top. Some of the CGI looks extremely bad, so it's just that type of movie that you can make fun of and have fun with it. The acting's bad, the story is bad, but since it's so bad it's good type of movie, it's just easy to make fun of. But it is easily the weakest and worst movie out of every single one on this list. Now, unlike the Final Destination, this one is actually a good movie. It still does have that 3D effect, but is handled a lot better. Now, what is distracting with it though is the blood is extremely CGI. It looks fake, and the kills are over the top because of the CGI blood. But speaking of the kills, that eye surgery scene is really great with suspense, because just focusing on the eye for that long and that amount of time makes me feel eerie, because I do not like focusing on that kind of stuff a lot, especially since that she has like this needle opening her eye with a laser pointing down right into her eye is not really something I want to really have a full suspense moment on. But this movie does it, making it one of my favorite kills in the franchise. The story by this point, we've done this story so many times in this franchise that this movie, the only really new thing it introduces is that you can kill someone to make death stop coming after you. That is a good concept to introduce in the lore, but the plot itself still does feel like the movies, and the movie's done it so many times by this point that we just got the same thing over and over again, which is why I'm glad Bloodlines went a different route with it. This isn't my favorite. I know some people who love this one in the franchise. I was never there. The amount of CGI blood extremely throws me off, and the over-the-top kills extremely throws me off, but it's a solid installment in this franchise. Real quick, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1K by the end of the year, consider hitting that subscribe button and liking the video, and with that, let's get back to the video. Now these next three movies are tied for each other. They're basically all on the same level, with one problem really separating them from each other, but Final Destination 3 lands here. Now as the movie itself, I feel like this movie has the best kills, like the best multiple kills in the franchise. Not just one kill stands out. I know a few of them that do stand out in this movie. I also like how the movie kind of went back to the roots of the first movie. The second one connected it with all the lore and stuff, which I did appreciate, but I also kind of liked how Final Destination 3 just brought it back to standalone. We needed a original standalone thing just one last time, and that's what Final Destination 3 gave us. And since the audience already knows the concept and the mystery behind it, this one's more about the kills, which is a standout, but it's also a con for me because we're focusing kind of too much on the kills. Not as much as the Final Destination, but also enough where the story is kind of hidden. I do love the premonition of the roller coaster, but the roller coaster only crashed because the camera was caught in the tracks. When the premonition's over, the guy holding the camera leaves the coaster, but the coaster still crashes. That never lined it up and really breaks down this premonition for me, but it is still a solid premonition if you get rid of that concept. Yes, the kills can be over the top, but it's Final Destination. Now, like I stated in the intro, this was a first time watch for me, and I was expecting a little bit more and came off disappointed with this movie. I love the concept alone. It's original. The idea of surviving death and having death come after you is great. And it's before the kills were over the top dramatic. The Final Destination delivered on that grounded side before the kills were over the top and slowly introducing the lore. I just wanted more of that lore explored, hence what the next movie on this list is going to do. Which is why I love the mystery aspect of here. The rest of the movie never really touched that mystery aspect. It did a little bit with how is this character gonna die, but it never delivered on how is death killing us. Which you can't really do that because the audience already knows the answer. But that's what I appreciate about this movie, is that it's a mystery. It doesn't tell the audience everything right off the bat. We discover it. Just the idea of surviving a plane explosion is a great concept, and then you get the idea of slowly being killed off in these suspenseful ways. Because what I love most about this franchise, and that this movie kind of introduced, the suspense between each kill. How's this character gonna die? What is happening to build off to his death? That's what I like about this franchise. Yes, I was a bit disappointed by the end result, but it's still solid. Now this movie, on the other hand, is what I wanted from Final Destination. I wanted more questions answered, and this movie answered all of those questions. Now the premonition, I've never really drove near a log truck, so the premonition never really interested me. I was never in that situation before, so it is a weak premonition to me. But the way it was executed I still do love, and just the idea of reversing the order this time is a new spin to the idea that we already knew, but it was the only movie that did it, so it's kind of weird on that aspect. But this is also when the deaths started getting over the top. But what I also loved most about it is that the suspense was really diving into everything. How's this person gonna die? Is it from this explosion, fire, microwave, hand stuck in the garbage disposal? How are they gonna die? But nope. Escapes, and slips on spaghetti, and the ladder falls on top of him. Stuff like that is what stands out about this movie. You think they're gonna die one way, but they die the other way. Finally introducing the idea of how these characters can't actually survive death, with multiple different twists in here that I do like. Final Destination 2 was what I wanted from this franchise, and that's exactly what I got from it. The first movie didn't really deliver fully on what I wanted, but the second one delivered exactly what I wanted from that first movie. And the rest of the movies, except number 1, never really dove into what Final Destination 2 did. And that's what I can appreciate for this movie. Now this is easily the best film of the franchise for me. It has the best premonition, the best kills, the best characters. You actually feel the dynamic between the characters. The suspense is really here, especially in that premonition, which I will dive into more of in my next video, ranking the premonitions. But this movie took everything great about all the other movies and implemented it into here to make sure it actually delivered the comeback for Final Destination. We returned after almost 14 years, and now we're back with Bloodlines, and they made sure that they delivered on every single moment. It can be over the top, but that's what to expect from this franchise by this point. I also would have appreciated the theme to be fleshed out a little bit more. I feel like it's a bit rushed here and there, specifically around the theme of the movie, and the ending kind of connects back to the theme of the movie. But what a great comeback from this franchise after all these years, and this movie is exactly what Final Destination needs to bring. And I hope the 7th movie comes out soon. And RIP Tony Todd. This movie played it off as if they knew he was going to die. Doing more research, it seems like they did, which makes sense because this movie was a final message that he has to say, and really delivered on it. RIP Tony Todd. Anyways, if you like this video, maybe leave those on the side of Institute too. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.